Welcome back to Sunrise. Today we're keeping our conversation on that, well, the ongoing scenario. Herders, farmers, the clashes. What is government doing about it? Are they doing enough? What should we be doing about it? We've got Mr. Femi Falana, Senior Advocate of Nigeria. Thank you for coming on this morning, sir.
Thank you. Good morning.
Well, we know that yesterday, NEC, as reported in dailies, constituted a committee to tackle conflict between herdsmen and farmers, as the papers have reported. And then we know that that directive still subsists, where the IGP is in Benue trying to sort this out. But we also do have this report where the guidance says Sultan exonerates Mieti Allah from killings in Benue. What does this do to the dynamics of us trying to sort this problem out?
Well, with profound respect to the members of the National Economic Council, I think we are chasing the shadow as a people. And the government is simply parading this country, parading Nigerians, as a bunch of jokers. I mean, it is not rocket science to solve this problem. And I'm bothered when leaders come out to make statements that give the impression that we're either out to cover up serious criminality. The killing of any human being in any part of the world is a serious matter.
In other words, we don't need a committee.
No,
to
do what? For heaven's sake. A committee to do what? To find out how many people have been killed? To find out or to establish the fact that we have been in this problem for 5 years running and nobody is addressing the problems. In 2012, according to the Global Terrorism Index, 1,229 people were killed. In 2014, we lost about 1,300 people. Benue State alone, between 2013 and 2016, 3 years, Benue State alone lost about 1,800 people. So, and this government knew this problem before it came on board. It was part of the campaign. And this government, upon its inauguration, has repeatedly maintained, and quite correctly, that the only solution to the incessant violent clashes between farmers and herdsmen is to establish ranches in the country. This government, the Minister of Agriculture and Natural Resources, Chief Audu Ogbe, had, until recently, almost shouted himself hoarse.
But now they're talking about cattle colonies.
Please, we'll come to that in a moment. Again, that is part of the diversion. When you ask Chief Audu Ogbe, what do you mean by cattle colony? It's to confuse Nigerians. According to him, a cattle colony will mean a group of ranches. Why are you using colony? As if you are giving the impression in a tense atmosphere that you want to colonize certain parts of the country. It's so nonsensical. Government has to take Nigerians seriously.
If we go back a little, say, to the previous administration, where there are reports that the National Economic Council voted for a 100 billion naira branching fund, and that money was released by the CBN to the governors. Why was that money not used to establish ranches?
You have to help us as media people to trace the fund. The central bank has got to confirm to whom these funds, the money was given to. Because this is why we're in a mess. Now, we are simply engaging in diversion. We're either blaming Fulani herdsmen, or we're blaming some traditional rulers for making comment, and people are taking us. People are just deceiving us.
Do you believe that? Do you believe that militias are the ones that are carrying out these killings?
You see, the government, the security forces know those who are carrying out this.
How?
Problem. You see, since the colonial regime, since 1914, please go and check this out. This is the first time in the history of our country that any group will go around terrorizing citizens with AK-47 rifles, and they have not been crushed by this state. This regime, the Buhari administration, declare a war on insecurity in the country. It prides itself as having successfully, to a large extent, tamed terrorism in the Northeast. It crushed the indigenous people of Biafra. In the Niger Delta, a war has been waged against the militants. So why are these guys allowed to go around killing people, whether they are Nigerians or foreigners? You are just simply giving the impression that the Nigerian state has failed, has collapsed. Because the government anywhere in the world must monopolize violence. It is the government that has a monopoly of violence. When you give that monopoly to a band of criminal elements,
what will happen?
The country has failed. The government has failed.